and Kevin just completely capitalized on that and destroyed his eco. So I think Kevin just outplayed. Julian went for a greedy build order, and Kevin just outplayed him. I think it was as simple as that, to be quite honest with you. To be honest with you, I still feel like the Ottoman FF is underrated. It's not as aggressive as it used to be because you don't have the tower, so you can't send shipments from a very aggressive tower, and you can't use it defensively, so you can be punished more. However, there's a lot of kind of semi-build orders or like, get a racks up, and then if you're getting rushed, you can build a few Janissaries. So I feel like the Fast Fortress is still often the play with Ottoman, but I think people are just, oh look, there's a shiny new build order here. We've got some fun delis. I think I'll start using delis as opposed to doing the Fast Fortress. Don't forget the Fast Fortress, you can still age up with hussars or delis rather. So aging up with 4 delis is still crazy for raiding. But anyways, moving on. We're on the next game. It's currently 3-2, ladies and gentlemen, to Kevin. What an absolute beast to be able to go 3-2 versus Julian.
So, first of all, thing to note here, this is the reverse matchup that Julian played versus Yuki in his qualifier for the Hidden Class.
Yes.
Julian was playing Haudenosaunee, Yuki was playing German, and Yuki went for an Age 1 trading post, and Julian thought, damn, that's a good idea. And I actually think that Julian has learned from that game, and we generally might see the same game being played out again because Kevin, well, he's playing Haudenosaunee, he's likely to go for a dock at some point because that's what you do, but I haven't actually seen the dock yet, so maybe he's not. This is, can we look at what Kevin's up to? This is, curious.
Just want to give a shout out to XDBXX on chat, who's just gifted a sub to Not Proud, Just Better. You absolute legend. Thank you very much. Really appreciate that, my man. Hope you're enjoying the stream. We will take a quick look over to Kevin playing as Haudenosaunee. This is definitely, would you say this is Kevin's main civilization? I think for the most part of DE,
he's mostly noted for, so he's going for the in-base farm for the livestock and for the food upgrades.
Yes. Okay. Interesting. So he's not going for any water play, which is interesting. Usually at the moment, I think the meta is, especially on a water map, is to get that early dock and then get about 3 or 4 boats whilst still aging up at a decent time. Not the play here. Deciding to go for. Now, do they get any buff from the sheep? Do the sheep fatten on the farm?
Farms are a livestock building. Lion, you're a 1900-year player. You should be knowing that the farm is a livestock pen at the same time.
I should be knowing that, but I don't play the Tadciv, so or the
War Chiefs is.
The War Chiefs is. That's it. The War Chiefs is.
Okay, so other things to know about the farm if you're not knowing. The farm has food upgrades as any other mill building does, but for the Haudenosaunee, these upgrade hunts as well and berries. So it's their way of getting steel traps and steel traps plus if they need to.
I remember when I was learning new civilizations, I would go on buildings. I'd be like, what on earth is that big button? And there'd be random buildings with completely random big buttons. I'm like, how on earth is that related anything to the building? So there's some very random big buttons with the War Chief civilizations. I will mention that.
True. It's like my favorite example is that for me, there's a card the Lakota have, it's the 1000 wood card, but for me that was 25% rifle attack. It wasn't 1k wood, because you send in the wood, you gather all that up, you build a plantation, which is unheard of as Lakota, you never build a plantation as them, for 600 wood, and then you research the big button upgrade, which is 400 wood for 25% attack for rifle-based units. And it's just the most arsey way to get around to sending in a 25% attack card, but if that was the card was that'd be very strong. So it's not, but that's still you kind of tie up your knowledge by specific examples and how can I use this. And here for the Haudenosaunee, I think it's basically quality of buildings give you crate of resources every 10 minutes. So after 20 minutes, it's viable. So if you need a little pick me up at 20 minutes, go to your buildings and hit the big button. That's going to be giving you your little injection.
Some brilliant 1600 ELO advice there from the great Harrison himself.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you want to look after your gate as well as I do, then please follow these couple of steps.
Right, one thing back to the game, one for Timo. So Julian's going for a very standard kind of build order here. He's going for the cav. He's got the stable down. He's got his steel traps down. this is a very good map for Germany because they have that free market. So it frees them up to be able to get an early TP, which is done. We're going to see some Uhlans, no doubt. He's not building his stable. Oh. Interesting. So he's obviously scouted the war hut. He hasn't scouted the stable, though, from Kevin. So he scouted that and decided, you know what? I'm not going to build Cav. I'm going to go for Expos or Dops, by the looks of it, instead. Now, he's
definitely
not...
crossbow pike. Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, that gold's almost going to be a bit of a waste now at this stage. So... little bit of an
oversight. Just left over from Ulan training. This is just kind of German auto macro kicking in. It's nothing to do with that. I think it's just worth mentioning before it really kicks off, and also we have a little bit of period of lag here. Not explicitly scouted the entire water to declare that there's no dock. He doesn't actually know if there is or not. It's not really full knowledge here from Julian's point of view. But the early Kanya's getting some good value.
To be honest with you, I think I would have preferred if I saw Julian, if he did actually produce that stable, he then could have built about 4 or 5 Uhlans, and then with the 700 wood, use that to build a Rax. I think I definitely would have much preferred to have seen that, because it feels like that gold is just wasted otherwise. Gonna pick up a villager there, so that's a really nice raid. He does get one Uhlan, does go down. He managed to escape with one, so that's really nice. Is now actually producing Dops, so doesn't want all of that gold to actually go to waste. So I imagine we'll start to see some Expos come out. He's got a lot of wood. We could even see a dock go down for Julian. Not really sure what he's going to spend all that wood on. Maybe he's just going to want to do houses and Expos. And maybe we'll see 700 gold, something like that next. So he's got like sort of 10 Expos, 5 Expos with a few Dops and a few Uhlans. And maybe he's going to want to get into Fortress as quickly as possible. We'll take a quick look at Kevin. Kevin's going for very heavy mass with cavalry.
Can we look at their decks quickly?
Yeah.
Press H, don't do the menu.
I did it. So 5 bills and 600 wood, so he's not going like all out rush.
I think that's the town centre, 10 bills and H3 there for Hero. That's quite nice, but he's got the classic 6 Kanya, 5 Kanya, 5 muskets in the third age.
Oh, and those dots are going to do a lot of damage. You do not want them to do even one swing. And those musketeers are not going to take down those dots quickly either. So this is really nice defensive play by Julian. Those dots really making a lot of use out of those dots. Bearing in mind, he didn't see early on, he didn't see that stable. So for him to then scout and perhaps see the stable, he never saw the stable. So those dops really paying off, and almost a bit of a blind kind of pick to go for those dops. So yeah, I mean they definitely saved his bacon that time round. We'll see what Kevin decides to do. I imagine they're probably both going to back up now and maybe want to go a bit greedy, maybe go for a bit of a fast fortress. Julian is definitely going to go up. It looks like he's making some dops, but he'll probably cancel that at the last second, just keeping him in queue. Oh, no. Okay, fair enough. He's able to get the age up anyway. So maybe he's going to build a couple more dots. We'll see. He has got the stable up now, so I think we'll see some of the usual things from Julian here. We'll see the crazy shipments that Germany get in Age 3, and we've all seen what their fortress ability can do. And so we're going to see, in the next 2 to 3 minutes, we're going to see some crazy tempo from Julian here. But Kevin decided, I'm not going to age up. He's going to pick his moment and go for H2, and he's picking a really good moment. I don't know if those dops got cancelled or not, but I still only see 3 dops for Julian here. So it looks like that might have been a mistake if he cancelled those dops, because they could have come in real handy here. Does still have Minutemen.
No, Germany wants war wagons straight away. That's the one unit he needs to start queuing. He hasn't queued them yet, which is a bit curious. He's not actually queuing anything. According to single Minutemen, he's just going for the trade here, but it's really favourable for Hero Explorer here, tanking a lot of HP, buffing HP, shotgun ability going to do pretty well. Kanya's still alive. The crossbows are now dead. The Minutemen onto the muskets. War wagons have been sent. Still no unit being trained. Why are there no unit being trained? We had something to. Well, this is a mess. Meanwhile, I see Kevin having this fat shit back at home. That's going to help him follow up to the next stage as well. And what a swing of momentum in terms of our Hero holding Shonny player.
I don't think that was terrible for Julian. Though. The question is the damage that Kevin did there, is that going to be enough? Going to clear up the rest here. Those Cav might be able to get away with their lives intact. But other than that, The tempo is now going to start again. It was a great trade for Kevin. However, I don't think it was terrible on the other hand for Julian. He cleaned up most of the musketeers, or the tomahawk throwers, if you will. And now he's just going to get all his shipments. The question
let's look at Kevin's point of view and evaluate his position. Oh my god! I think I just said precision. Oh my god! I've just done the right. Oh, you see, all his sheep are fattened. He's starting to eat them. He's aging up. Is he aging up fast or slow? If he's aging up slow, this may be an absolute...
He's aging up fast.
Lucky, because otherwise he'd been big trouble.
Yeah,
they've got a trading post as well. I noticed that. And Holmstrom, they do like their shipments. They do like the 6 Kanya, like the 5 Kanya, 5 musket, 8 forest prowlers. He needs a bit of everything here to try and stabilise and probably. Bit skirm heavier because it's going to be a war wagon skirm affair from Germany for the time being.
Well, I think it's fair to say we can predict what these two civilizations are both now going to make. We're going to see the skirmishes from both sides. We're going to see a lot of cavalry mass from Germany, and we're going to see a lot of cavalry mass also from Kevin. The question is, who's going to have more tempo? Who's going to have the bigger army? If we look at 28 villagers for Germany, whilst Kevin on 32, you've got to take into consideration of settler wagons. So the ecos are very similar, although Kevin, with all of these sheep now fully fattened, probably going to have the small advantage, especially in the short term for eco. Still kept.
I've got to remember, naturally, Kevin will have less eco because of Germany being European technology. And the extra villagers from the great villager shipments, but it's because Kevin's playing a war chief civilization. His army will be naturally stronger, man for man. They are stronger units.
War chief with the aura, so yeah. So there's
also looking for a war dance here from Kevin. If a fight breaks out, is going to be crucial. He needs to make the most of his trades, and yeah, 6 Canyons is card number 1 coming in while trading skirms. It kind of makes sense. And actually, the pop here.
If he gets these, if he wedges these in at a perfect timing, I think. Oh, and if
he could call Big Button from the town centre.
Oh no, that feels like I don't know how well that would have gone, but with these reinforcing canyons coming in now, I feel like that would have gone really well for Kevin. But it looks like he bottled it a bit. He didn't have the minerals, so he thought, you know what, I'll play it safe and I'll just back up, which is fine as well. However, I feel like that could have been a really, really defining moment of the game there. But unfortunately, we didn't get to see it. It would have been hype as well. Let's be real. Anyways, double war hut as well, spam. So there would have been double war huts the entire time.
Lion doesn't care whether a play is right or wrong. He just wants to see the hype plays. He just wants to see.
Oh, I always want the hype. I always want to bring the hype. I do feel like that was a really good moment. This TP could have been a problem. Maybe he was worried about the TP and having to run around it, and that could have been a problem for the flank coming in here. So yeah, I mean, I don't blame him for playing it safe, but I do feel like if he got the right fight there and he got the right pop, that he could have completely whittled down the entire skirm mass of Julian there. And Kevin, elite forest prowlers are essentially one of the best skirmishers in the game, so it would have been very difficult, I feel, then for Julian to kind of get his skirmisher mass in a position where he could contest against these forest prowlers. However, that wasn't the case.
I think you just said position there correctly. Wow. I'm impressed.
You're not my English teacher, okay?
No, but I am your daddy.
Wait. Moving on. So we've got Chad in here. That's at 1,250 HP, and it's the aura that it gives the buff to all the other military units. Pretty insane. However, Germany's mass is looking pretty tasty right now. He is picking up a nice 90 wood there. Is going to be absolutely demolishing these coin mines already on here, up here as well. Just posturing a little bit at the moment.
I think Germany would love to send a mercenary shipment and kind of time their attack with a power spike in that situation. I know Julian is very good at spamming the resources, getting the macro correctly, so it's just going to be Skirmoland, which can work. It's just almost at the level of, does he go for like a cav combat or just send in another unit shipment? And Forest Prowlers will win versus Skirmishers in the Skirmisher War and kind of needs Jaegers to come back into that, but I think he just wants to keep them busy and try and win the fight with the cav mass he's got behind there. Not a lot of war wagons though, and Kevin himself does have quite a lot of vet Kanya horsemen and double cav shipments to kind of body block war hut, double war hut, explorer, musket riders behind.
can we just appreciate the entire time that his resources,
Oh no,
Julian's
sorry.
resources...
I like Kevin's composition much more here. I think we might see a bit of war dance. He does have a fire pit. He did revive the Explorer on the fire pit there, dancing for that. So if he can kind of...
There is a lot of Ulans there, though, and Cav combat is coming in.
Look at the setter wagons. They run in, and if they get scouted and a couple get snared, in trouble. But Julian's happy. No, Kevin's happy for the skirm trades, and more skirm trades going on. The better it is for Kevin. And this is not. It's awkward. It's not bad. It's just awkward here from Julian. He kind of wants to go in, and yeah, Cav combat is now nice micro on the Explorer. That's gonna debuff the entire era army, and yeah, Kevin's running.
There comes the snare. There comes the snare. The big Ulan mass is about to come in. The war wagons are going to be back it up.
Dance is in now, so it'd be a good time to take the fight if he wants to, and we just hands off Z move type of. There's a lot of back and forth micro, just Z move it and get the best out of everything. I think.
Yeah, these skirmishers definitely want to be on the goons. The war wagons definitely want to be on the Kanye West, and the Ulans just want to be mowing down absolutely everything in their path. That was a really nice backup there as well, just putting the Cav in a more favourable position and allowing the war wagons, baiting all the Kanye West forward and allowing the war wagons to do what they do best. This is kind of looking good for Germany.
I think it's going to be like a double down. I think both players are going to have like hardly any units left, and both players go like, right, that's an equal trade because the Ulans are going down. There's still enough rifle riders here. The skirm is a little bit stronger for Kevin. Also, more skirms here for Julian, but the reinforcements is where it's at. As fights go, it's pretty equal. That is a pretty equal fight.
Yeah.
The scores reflect that as well.
Continuing to take down these musket riders, which tells me that there's more Cav coming in.
No idea where those skirms are going. Oh, the Kanye West shipment of 5 Kanye Wests.
And this is a really awkward positioning for the war wagons. Really, really awkward. Only 2 war wagons left.
You can see the skirms are just hunting the war wagons down because they realise once that's down, the skirmishes are going to get cleaned up, and this is really on the edge of your seat stuff.
But guess what's coming? The 8 Ulans are coming, and I don't see anything else coming in for Kevin. Or maybe more Kanye West, but I think the Ulans are going to clean everything else up, and I think we'll see these Kanye West back up just a little bit. Definitely favourable for Julian, but almost looked dangerous for a second there. Oh, and Kevin's not realising. Oh, Kevin, run away. Run away, Kevin. And he's just about, skin of his teeth, going to get away with that one. Just about. Very nice. Yeah, I think that was definitely favourable for Germany. He's now got the tempo. He's able to now put the pressure on. More Forest Prowlers coming out, though, as well. So if he can get his Forest Prowler mass back up with some Musket Riders, I think he'll still be in a decent position. Some raiding going down here. Oh, really nice raid down here.
I was about to say, big problem here for Kevin is that we've basically started Age 3 once again. Like, rewinds at 7 minutes. The only difference is now Germany has combat on all their cavalry, so...
Bringing the musket riders down as well. So not only can he not counter raid now, he's got the musket riders as well, which is really nice play there by Kevin. He's definitely going to pick up a few villagers there. And think about the amount of villager seconds that's costed him on top of losing about 4 or 5 villagers there. So yeah, really nice play by Kevin. Essentially moving his entire army onto this herd to cover anything that comes from Julian. And if he's able to get away with that, that could potentially turn the tide of this game. Really nice.
One of your viewers has never heard the phrase Kanye Wests before.
Yeah, so when I refer to the elite Kanye horsemen, we call them Kanye Wests, just because Kanye. I mean, why not? So yeah, although it was looking good for Germany there, they definitely won the battle, but they definitely didn't win the war because that was a really nice raid there for Kevin. So really well played by Kevin there. Just eating up these gold mines, Germany. The gold mines are going to run out at some point. There's one in the middle here still.
Oh, Hessian Jaegers are now being called here for Germany.
Oh, that could be game changing.
Wait for them to come in, but you can kind of see Kevin's now on like the skirm goon heavy type comp, not really going too many Kanye horsemen. They are wood based units, the cavalry for arrows. It's quite tough to keep massing them, and well, Kevin's making a good play of gunning now. He doesn't know this, but this is a good time to strike because having a military shipment on the way is such an investment and power spike that you've got to make the most opportunity while they're off the field. And Kevin's from the back, and I think he's going to... He looks at the score, he thinks he's in a good position, but when the Jaegers plop, that score from Julian would go up like 3,000 points, and he'd be like, "Oh, where the hell did this score come from? What's just happened?"
Yeah, I think if you're a good player, and Kevin is well aware of this, and you see your score just inexplicably dip like a thousand or two, you should.
Oh, look at the score jump. Do you see the score jump there? Is that back?
Exactly.
From 6? Oh.
But if you're Kevin right now, you probably foresaw that coming. If you're a good player and you know that that's about to come, then you could probably guess that there's going to be mercenary shipments already out in the field. If you see someone score go down and then jump like that, especially if it's Germany, it's either Jaegers or Black Riders. So if he sees that, maybe he was paying attention to other things, but if he sees that, he probably knows that those Jaegers are coming. Now, Forest Prowlers, as good as they are, they're not going to be able to compete with Jaegers for very long. There's a lot of Ulons there as well. So
and the Forest Prowlers, they do not have infantry combat on them, so they're not as strong as they could be, and Jaegers will have a very enjoyable time on this. Cavalry looking pretty decent, and I think with the Jaegers on the field, you can't just trade anymore. You just have to go in and go for it.
And there's no anti-cav here, so if those musket riders can get in on those cav really well, the Kanye horse are going to do really well with the musket riders firing in the background. The thing is, if Julian has good micro, he's going to identify those musket riders and take them down. There's still a few of them left. This
Germany's got it.
I don't know. If he can keep enough horsemen alive, and if there's any reinforcing horsemen coming in, then he's going to be doing good.
Damn, look at that. That Spag Canyon is still standing.
Yep. So these aren't going to last that long because there are Jaegers down there, so they are going to be able to micro these. But that was a great fight for Kevin. A really, really great fight for Kevin.
Surviving one mercenary power spike is pretty good. This is where I've been 7 Bosniaks in a deck for Germany. Just saying. I'm just saying.
I don't disagree, to be honest. But how many mercenary shipments can you put in your deck? Before sacrificing.
Look at the Kanye coming with still rifle riders to protect the incoming, or to pick off the incoming Uhlans. This is getting better and better for Kevin. Villagers here to tank. We're in desperate times now. Is there anything coming in for Kevin? I think he's actually gone through. No, for Julian, I think he's gone through all his regular units. Military shipments. He's down to either crates or he's still got 7 skirms, but that's not what he needs. He's certainly burnt 8 Ulan, 9 Ulan. Oh, is this match point for Kevin?
Yeah, it is, and this is just having no anti-cav in that big fight really, really cost Julian. He's now down in eco as well. Kevin definitely has the more comfortable lead when it comes to eco. Another like 20 or so villagers ahead, maybe about 15 if you take into consideration settler wagons.
This has been a great game.
It's been back and forward, hasn't it? It really has been back and forward. And now Germany are on. Now he's got Kevin on the back foot once again.
Nah. Here come a full batch of cannons, and there's nothing else standing.
More Uhlans coming in.
We'll be here endlessly, just sending it to the death. Nothing else going on.
The thing is, the settler wagons they're doing what they can to soak up damage, but that's going to come at a massive cost. And if he can't win this fight convincingly now, he's going to lose the war of attrition, I'm afraid.
Okay, the other thing as well is that one Civ has a skirm combat card, and the other Civ does not. I wonder if you know which Civ has the skirm combat.
Yeah. Well, Kevin's does.
25 attack versus 18. It's pretty significantly different. Obviously, the war dance factor in there as well, but you can't just skirm trade at this point. You need to go into artillery or just fully commit.
And this is why Forest Prowlers are widely regarded as one of the best skirmishes in the game. They definitely were at the beginning of D before we had all sorts of crazy skirmishes come out. So yeah, you don't really want to trade man for man when it comes to the skirmisher war. Oh no, those Uhlans need to be on the skirmishers. Oh, okay, he's backing up. It's time to back up. Yeah, 3k score difference now. This is starting to... The hopes and dreams of Julian is really starting to dwindle now. 4k score difference. And wow, just having 0 anti-cav really, really cost him. He was very confident with just pure cav and pure skirmisher, but those musket riders really came in handy. And Kanye West, can we talk about how OP Kanye West are? Okay, not OP. I don't want to start. Don't want to start a tier war.
No.
Don't want to start a tier war. But they are very, very effective. They've always been very strong. And
well, I mean, they are just essentially the native equivalent of the Hussar. That they're similar stats. They might have a little bit more range resist here, but a little less HP. Well, actually, quite a bit of less HP. Compared to Hussar, the attack is relatively similar, but a bit down. 175 res for those compared to 200 of the classical European Hussar, but wood cost instead of gold. They're probably slightly worse overall, but backed up by stronger units, and obviously the war chief bonus is very nice as well.
Yeah, this is not looking too good for Julian. He is hanging on for dear life. The gold mines are still plentiful for Kevin. He's still got 2 full silver mines and a tin mine up there. Whilst, on the other hand, 300 coin left for Julian. He's not going to be able to get this one. That's very risky. So he's going to have to transition over to either Expos or he's going to have to get some estates at some point. He is shipping 1k gold to try and offset that, but it's not going to last very long.
I reckon Julian would tap out even before another fight happens again. Sometimes you just have to look at the scoreboard and you realise, I feel that I'm behind. I'm looking at the scoreboard and it just kind of sometimes it gives you that confirmatory bias that yes, you are really up the creek, and it's not an easy way back now. Because at this point, I don't really know what Julian's chopping for the woods. Because he doesn't need population. He's only got 80 out of 160. He doesn't need a mill. Is he going for like another product? He's going for a dot.
This is ballsy.
That is
a 26-minute dot.
Okay. That is 80% the wrong answer. That is not what Julian needs right now. He won't have enough time to pay that one off. And yeah.
I mean, what are his other options? What are his other options?
I appreciate. Well, I mean, there's a big button on the top right which he could press, but
I just want to give a shout out to Rootline, who's coming in with the raid with 11 views. I hope you had a good stream, dude. Thank you very much for the raid. Anyone who's just tuning in, we're having a best of 7 between Kevin and Julian, and it's currently 3-2 to Kevin. If he wins this, he takes the series. Do you know what? I have to say... Go on.
I'm just getting torn up to pieces by Prince in the chat now.
Well, you deserve it, so... I mean, the thing is, he's identified that he's going to be running out of gold, right? So he's putting these straight onto the whales. What are his other options? You know, going for estates just feels like he'll pull the GG anyway because they're so expensive. So maybe he is going to try and, you know, play the war of attrition and really try and whittle him down and keep limping in the game until it does come into fruition. But it's going to take at least 10 minutes before that the water boom really kind of starts to pay off. So. Cuirassiers coming in now for Haldon-Ashoni as well. Yeah, this just looks really dire.
Anti-cav here for Germany, and
those
a couple
pikes
of fishing boats here may go into land and block with their great coat, high HP, but I don't think this will be the case. And even War Dance in now, so Dragoons with the War Dance, high attack, Cuirassiers, high attack with the War Dance. The Explorer still standing. I think they buffed the Cuirassiers as well. Yeah, they got the Explorer rings and it just melts away here for Germany, but.
Actually did a pretty good job. Yeah, actually did a pretty good job taking down that cav. But yeah, that was just too much mass there. Like you said, 10 out of 10 game. I'll give it a 9.9 just because I want to disagree with Harrison. But yeah, really well played by both. It was looking good for Julian for a large portion of that game. But Kevin, wow, just coming in with that fight. There was a good 2 or 3 battles and the last one was the big decider. Julian deciding not to have any anti-cav in that end fight, and that was just the game. That was the game changer. The raid down here as well. I want to mention the raid down here. I think Julian definitely had the tempo at that stage. And just by Kevin taking his army down here and able to run away without being caught was probably what won him the game. What do you think?
It's how Yuki lost the game as well, if you remember that series.
Yeah.
Yuki versus Julian. It's how Yuki... He was winning that map, but then a dodgy fight and then a massive raid really put him on the back foot there. But kind of confirms that Kevin's the king of the heroes. He knows that Civ inside and out, and some great play there once again. Yeah, going for the farm instead of going for the dock. He felt that he knew the situation, felt happy going for that. That villager population is incredible. I think you can tell when Julian was about 2k points ahead. See when the scores are even to when he was 4k points behind.
So this is when that raid happened, and at this point, Julian had just won the big first fight, and he had more units out on the field. But that raid just completely changed the tempo of the game, and completely shifted. And it wasn't just the 7 villages he took down. It was the walking time. Those villagers not being able to gather what they wanted. It just cost so many villager seconds in total, and then just gave Kevin that time, allowed him to mass more units, and then bingo, there we go. Just really, really well played by Kevin. Taken down the mighty Julian, and I believe, ladies and gents, that is 4-2 to Kevin. So I think that is the end of it. Any words on that, Harrison, from what you saw?
So where does this put Julian then back into the roster of suppressive players? Because for like for 2 or 3 months, like Julian's like the surprise favorite, and like Julian's like one of the top 5 players currently in the supremacy scene, coming from Treaty and just kind of dominating everybody. But series defeats to Yuki and Kevin. Kevin's incredible, but Kevin's not a top 10 player. He's top 20. He's not top 10.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I think it's fair. And, Kevin was maybe going for his more favourites, but then again, do you see Kevin played USA and Mexico?
The man's a genius.
But Kevin's a mini Kaiserklein. He's very experienced with the Europeans, but going for Mexico is a bit of a side pick there.
He's a new age Kaiserklein.
Kevin's reinvented himself. He's dropping down the Kaiserklein mimic and doing it. He's found his own identity.
Kevin does like to do random. I've seen him do a lot of kind of random picks. So he does pretty much know how to play every civilization in the game. So that really, that's really good for your knowledge of what every single civ can do. So yeah, Kevin is. You can't mess around with Kevin, and I've seen Kevin beat the best players in the game. So yeah, really well played to Kevin. One thing to mention, it does beg the question: if Julian, obviously he mainly plays Treaty, so imagine if he just full time played Supremacy.